All right, everyone. So this is your second essay assignment, and I just wanted to walk you guys through it to make sure you get a really good grasp on what we're looking for in this assignment. So you guys have been working in the Enlightenment era for this whole unit, and the focus of this essay is going to be around the movement itself. So you guys have read a number of authors. What you're going to do is you're going to choose one or two of the works and the authors from this unit, and you're going to choose a particular theme to explore in relation to the Enlightenment. So when you're approaching this paper, I want you to be thinking about what are the elements of the Enlightenment, what are the ideals, or what are the principles of the Enlightenment that are informing the literature that's being written at this time. And you guys have read a number of different pieces. You've read political pieces, you've read pieces by female authors, you've read pieces by African American authors. So I want you to be thinking about how we're having a changing landscape of who is the voice of America in this movement compared to, think about the first unit where we had very different voices. So once you choose one, I say you're welcome to choose two if you like. Choose a work and an author that you think go together if you're going to choose two. Something like, female author poetry working together. So by Phillis Wheatley or Judith Sargent Murray would work well together. I wouldn't put things that don't seem to go together. So something like John Adams, you can make something like John Adams and Phillis Wheatley go together, but it would be a lot more of a reach in terms of content. So I would definitely choose things that kind of fit together well. And choose a theme that they both relate to if you're going to choose two, or choose one work and a major theme related to the Enlightenment. So this could be anything from ideas of democracy to the idea of the individual to ideas of equal rights based on skin color or gender or whatever it might be. So you're going to show how that author genre work together exhibit a particular Enlightenment idea. And then you can also talk about what elements may be missing in the same regard. So you could talk about something like the ideas of democracy and equal rights for all. And you could talk about something like Thomas Jefferson and then compare that with someone like Phillis Wheatley or any other female author. And you could talk about what's missing in terms of ideas of democracy and equal rights for all, how it did not extend to all these people. It's just one idea of what you could do. I purposely made this very broad so that you can really get creative with this. Choose to combine works or ideas in ways that are inventive and interesting to you. So I've given you just a few examples here. You could look at things like female author poetry, like I said, between, say, Judith Sargent Murray and another female author. You could do her, Phillis Wheatley. There's a number of things you could really talk about there. You could look at revivalist subject matter in Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. You could combine that with Phillis Wheatley's On the Death of Reverend Mr. George Whitefield. You could do something like Enlightenment figures or ideas, like Locke in Jefferson's Declaration of Independence. You could also do like a political ideologies relayed by Abigail and John Adams in their letters. So what is their letters talking about, and how does that relate to the ideas of the Enlightenment? How does that relate to ideas of democracy and freedom and equality? You could also focus on the right of the individual. So this could be the right of the individual based on gender. It could be the right of the individual in a democracy. It could, in a political sense, it could be a lot of different ways. The right of the individual in terms of mental acuity. So you could do it and tie it into Judith Sargent Murray's On the Equality of the Sexes. So there's really a lot of different ways you could go with this. It's up to you. I want you to pick something that sounds interesting to you. So choose authors that are interesting to you and choose ideas that are interesting to you, things that you are interested in and passionate about. You make sure that you draw on lots of good, solid evidence to support your ideas. So again, always come back to the text. Give me lots and lots of good quotes. Paraphrases, of course, too, but usually quotes are the strongest evidence to support what you are arguing. Make sure that you choose at least 3 sources to support your claims. Now, I've sprinkled in a lot of links, mostly in the biography sections of every one of these authors. So there are links out to, other articles or biographies or whatever it might be, videos Use at least 3 sources. Use these to your advantage. These are all credible sources and credible links you can use. You are more than welcome to go out and find your own if you like. Once again, choose credible sources. So things like history and biography.com and PBS and CNN, all of these government websites, these will be good credible sources for you. So make sure you have at least 3 of those to help support your ideas, and pull in quotes or stats or information from those sources to help support your claim. Your essay is going to be due on Sunday, March 5th at midnight. The link will close at that point. Make sure you get it in well before then, so in case of any technical issues or whatever. 3 to 4 pages as usual. That means 3 pages minimum down to the very, very bottom. Otherwise, I have to take off points for length. And of course, standard MLA format, meaning 1-inch margins all around, double space, Times New Roman, Arial, or Cambria, 12-point font, etc., etc. As always, make sure that you remember that everything's going to be checked through Safe Assign for plagiarism. And then make sure you look at that plagiarism report once you've submitted it. If it feels like it's high to you because you forgot to add a citation, or there's an extended quote that you think needs to be cut down, go back and do that and resubmit it. That's why it's there for you. And then, of course, usual MLA, have a bibliography and write full minimum page length. Use all the notes you've taken in this unit on the graphic organizers to help you. If you have any questions, let me know. Your grade is going to be focused on making sure you have a full argument developed around an idea related to the Enlightenment. So really make sure, go back to the first week of the unit to make sure you understand the principles of the Enlightenment. A proper number of outside resources, and then the full use of the works, meaning you tie it back to that textual evidence as much as possible. Make sure that you have proper MLA. Make sure your analysis is extended. So don't just give me an idea, give me a quote, and move on. You want to really sit and explore that idea in your own words. That's where your analysis comes from, and that's what I'm looking for, to make sure that it's in your voice as well. Use proper scholarly language, good terminology. So this is really important. We're studying a movement here with specific tenets and ideas. You have to use the terminology from that to kind of give your work context. And then, of course, the complete essay structure with an intro, body, and conclusion, and a bibliography, and then the full development of all of your ideas. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Hopefully you see this as a chance to really explore and kind of voice something that sounds interesting to you. And make sure that you get started early in the week so that you have plenty of time to edit and make it the strongest essay possible.